What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad channel. My name is Josh, and today I am going to be bringing you a brand new deck profile on Crobat VMAX Weezing. Now, this has been a deck that people have been trying to make work for an absolutely crazy amount of time, but it has never seen the success that a lot of people thought it was capable of seeing, generally in large part to decks like Arceus, decks like Palkia, things that don't need abilities necessarily to set up and do enough damage to one-shot that Weezing. But now that the meta has sort of shifted away from the Palkia, away from the Arceus towards things like Lugia, towards things like the Lost Zone engine, it's looking like it could make quite a comeback. But before we hop into the deck profile, I do just want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsors of the channel. First off, Atlas TCG. If you go over there, use code TSS12, you will get 12% off your order. I'd like to give a shout out to PTCGO store, where you can find all of your TCGO card needs. The code cards, if you use code TSS5, you'll get 5% off your order. BCW supplies, if you use code TSS, you will get 10% off your order. I want to give a huge shout out to PokeXword, where you can find daily Pokemon puzzles and test your Pokemon and Pokemon TCG knowledge and have a lot of fun while doing so. And last but not least, the Shuffle Squad Patreon, where you can find all sorts of articles, all sorts of deck lists by yours truly, as well as all of the other Shuffle Squad members. And all of the money that goes into that Patreon comes right back to us to go to those Pokemon tournaments, to get those hotel rooms for that travel. So we would really appreciate you checking it out, and let's just jump into the deck list. All right, so taking a look at the list here, it's not as organized as it could be, almost perfect, but I did have to use my one copy of the awesome red and Crobat art here. But looking at the list, we are playing a 3/2 copy of that Crobat VMAX, 300 HP dark type with that stealth poison attack. For a dark and a colorless, is going to do 70 damage, and then I get to switch to the bench while my opponent's active Pokemon is left poisoned. So the point of the deck is you use that stealth poison attack and then switch into this guy right here, Galarian Weezing, with the neutralizing gas ability. Has been an absolute terror in the format for almost 2 years since it was released back in Rebel Clash. Neutralizing gas, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's Pokemon in play have no abilities. And then that severe poison, for a single dark energy, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Put 4 damage counters instead of 1 on that Pokemon during checkup. So essentially, the goal here is to use Crobat, stealth poison, go to your bench, your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, and then you shut off their abilities by switching into the Weezing. Now, there are plenty of matchups where you can win simply by just having multiple Weezing in play. And thanks to Koffing's Ascension attack, it's not too difficult to get those Weezings on the field. For a single dark energy, you can search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon, put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. Obviously, that ends your turn, but you can get that turn 1 Galarian Weezing, turn 1 item lock. So if you are lucky enough to go second and start the Koffing, start an energy in your hand, you can ability lock your opponent in a way that they are going to be unable to boss around it, going to be unable to escape rope around it. Other cards in the deck, we are playing 1 copy of the Miracle Body Miltank. Now, it's similar concept. You use the stealth poison and then switch into the Miltank. If your opponent doesn't have any non-V attackers to deal with that Miltank, they're not going to be able to KO it, and you can just pivot between the two until eventually you knock out all of your opponent's Pokemon. We are playing 1 Galarian Zigzagoon, mostly just to flush out certain math in certain areas. Sometimes that poison math isn't going to work out. If your opponent has an odd number of HP, this Galarian Zigzagoon is going to get in onto the even poison counter track, because with the Weezing, you're doing 60, assuming that the Radiant Sneasler is in play, or 40 without. And with the Crobat, you're going to be doing just 10 damage in between turns, or 30 with the Sneasler in play. So that Zigzagoon is going to allow you to cheat those specific damage counts. We are playing 4 copies of Boost Shake, which is essentially the same thing as Ascension, except it works on the first turn and you don't need an energy. You play this card, you can search your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon, put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it, and then your turn ends. So if you go first and you start that Koffing, you start a Boost Shake in hand, you can lock abilities right off the gate before your opponent even plays a card. We are playing 2 copies of Dark Patch just to accelerate energies to our Crobats, to our Weezings should we need to, 4 copies of Quick Ball, 3 copies of Switch, 4 copies of Ultra Ball, and then looking at our stadium of choice, it is the Shopping Center. Once during each player's turn, that player may put a Pokemon tool attached to one of their Pokemon into their hand. This was very popular in the Eternatus decks. For similar reasons here, you want that Air Balloon, you're going to be able to retreat, and then once you've retreated, you can pick it back up, use that Choice Belt to hit easier damage numbers. We are playing 4 copies of the Bird Keeper to switch into the Crobat should we need to. 2 copies of Boss's Orders. 4 copies of Marnie. And 2 copies of Piers. Just to look for those Weezings, look for those Dark Energies, whatever we need to find in terms of our Pokemon and energy lines. We're playing 2 Air Balloon, 1 Choice Belt to hit easier damage thresholds with the Crobat VMAX, and then 4 Hiding Dark Energy, which gives all Dark Pokemon no retreat cost, and then 6 straight up Dark Energy. So that's the list. Pretty straightforward. It's a very simple deck, simple concept, but I think it's in a very strong place in the meta right now. So let's play some games and see if we can test that theory out. So looking at our hand here, we are going second, but we have a lot of things that we want here. We have the energy, we have the coughing. Really, that's all that you can ask for. We are going to be against a comfy base deck. It could be Lost Box. Obviously, it could be Giratina. Probably not going to find out until they start using some of those flower selecting abilities, putting some stuff in the Lost Zone and giving us a little bit more of a clue as to what we're looking against. Do put a Drapion V in the Lost Zone. Drapion V is a little more common in the Giratina, but it is also played in typical Lost Box as well. So we don't get too many answers here. There's the Capture Energy coming down. Are we going to find a second Comfey here? Just so that they can use more flower selecting abilities before the inevitable Ascension. They do get a Giratina V. They had another Comfey in their hand, though. Just going to retreat into that. Use that flower selecting ability one more time. Get rid of that Lost Vacuum. There is the Radiant Greninja, going to let them draw 2 cards by discarding an energy. We have a pretty sizable hand, but we have Marnie. We have the energy to use Ascension. They're going to go ahead and Quick Ball, get rid of a Mirage Gate, grab another Comfey. I don't know, maybe they have another Switch card in their hand that they're going to look to use. Yep, Scoop Up Net comes down. 3rd flower selecting here. That's 3 cards in the Lost Zone. Luckily, Weezing does shut off that Cramorant. So until they get 7 cards in that Lost Zone, they are going to have a tough time putting damage out. But it looks like they have lots of Switch cards in their opening hand. This could be very dangerous for us. They got 4 flower selectings turn 1 going first. Pretty strong start. Luckily, we are going to be shutting that off as soon as possible. In theory, they could do another Comfey here. They don't, though, so that's great. We are going to attach a Dark Energy here. Play the Marnie. They didn't play whatever they just grabbed off the Comfey, and they Lost Zone to Switch, so I'm assuming the card is pretty good. I don't want to put any other Pokemon in play this turn. I wouldn't mind Crobatting here, but they do still have Escape Ropes available to them. And so until I can establish another Weezing, I think it's safer to just use the 1 Koffing on the field, use the Boost Shake just to clear it out of my hand when I do eventually play that Crobat down. Looks like our opponent's going to attach a Water Energy to that Giratina. I'm going to go ahead and Pierce, grabbing a Koffing and a Dark Energy. I'm tempted not to play down the Koffing here. I think it's a bit of a risk to do so, but I think it may be the best choice. So we're just going to go ahead, bench the Koffing, and then use that Severe Poison. Put 40 damage in between turns. If they don't have a Switch card in their hand, they are going to be knocked out coming into our turn. If they do have that Escape Rope, can get out of the Weezing lock here. They do just attach a Grass Energy to their Giratina. Let's see, they have anything else? Nope. So they are going to pass their turn. Their Comfey is going to be knocked out in between turns. We'll be able to establish a second Weezing this turn. Let's see what they promote here for us. It's another Comfey. So let's go ahead and put the Hiding Dark Energy there. I will Bird Keeper into the Koffing, see if we can draw into... No, so we'll just get rid of these Boost Shakes now that we have the Weezings established. Put down the second Weezing. Now we're not afraid of that Escape Rope. I'm going to discard a Dark Energy. Grab that Crobat. I don't think I want to play it yet, though. Boss's orders onto the Crobat could still be annoying. As of right now, no, we should play the Crobat this turn. They are going to be looking to take knockouts starting next turn, so we will just go ahead and establish a Crobat. And then Severe Poison the Comfey. Again, 40 damage from that poison. We still have their ability shut off. So, looking to be in a good spot here. They do pass again, giving us a KO on another Comfey, promoting that Radiant Greninja. I'm going to grab another Koffing, put it down. Could Marnie, but I don't particularly want to. I think what we're going to do here is... Let's see. I'm just going to Bird Keeper into the Crobat. We don't find the Crobat VMAX. That's fine. So we will just switch back into the Weezing. Go ahead and use that Severe Poison. 40 in between turns. It's a great option. Our opponent's looking for a Psychic Energy, a Switch, Boss's Orders, anything they can use to sort of get themselves out of this ability lock, but it looks like they don't. We're really showing the power of the Weezing here. It makes it very, very difficult for these Lost Zone decks to be able to run their route. So we are going to grab the Crobat VMAX, going to retreat the Galarian Weezing into this, use that Stealth Poison, and then I can promote the Galarian Weezing, sending it up maybe to die. Our opponent does find that Psychic Energy. But keeping those abilities shut off, we are 3 prizes ahead. They do just have to go for the Abyss Seeking here. That's fantastic for us. We are definitely just going to bench that Miltank. Let's see, can I win the game right now? I need to find a Choice Belt. But if I find the Choice Belt, we do win the game here. I'm going to go ahead and Marnie. We do find the Choice Belt. So before our opponent is even able to do anything with their game, we are going to take the win using that Max Cutter for 210 damage, shutting down that Lost Zone engine and winning that first game. All right, so looking at our hand here, we have a plethora of Koffing. So many Koffing. Our opponent has a Lightning and a Water Energy deck box. It looks like we are against the Vikavolt deck. So let's go ahead and bench all our Koffings. We could Ultra Ball here. Let's get rid of these guys. Grab that Weezing for next turn. And we can just pass. We're not at too much risk of anything. Our opponent could get the turn 1 Paralyzing Bolt. We have no item cards in our hand though, so not too scary. They do get the Speed Lightning Energy down, drawing a couple cards. They have an 8-card hand. It's probably not too unlikely that they're able to pull off this Melanie here. But we'll see. The nice thing about this matchup is that the Weezing is going to shut off Regieleki, meaning that they are going to have to put in a lot of work to KO our Weezings. Play that Quick Ball. They did get a Crobat first, grabbing a Regieleki V here. Nice full art Regieleki V. It's great artwork. Let's see how many more cards they can get out of their hand here. They didn't discard any Water Energy with all of those ball cards, so maybe looking like they're not going to get that turn 1 item lock. You have the Ultra Ball here, though. They do get rid of their Melanie. Gonna Ultra Ball, maybe grabbing the Radiant Greninja. Not sure what else they would really be looking for here. Just a second Vikavolt. So not prepping for the possibility of the Water Energy off this Crobat, but that's fine. If they miss, that is fantastic for us. It's just another turn of being able to use items to set up. They do grab the Luminion. It would be a weird choice for them to Marnie here. They did see me put the Weezing in my hand though, so maybe trying to avoid that. But they didn't shut off my item cards, so it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to find some stuff. There's the trekking shoes. Do just put whatever card in their hand. May have been that trekking shoes, may not have been. We will find out soon enough. Their board is pretty jam-packed right now. Even if they get another Regieleki V down and VMAX it, they won't be able to one-shot a Weezing. So it's great for us. We do get the Boost Shake. Let's go ahead and Bird Keeper here. See if I can just draw into one. We don't. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the Hiding Dark Energy. We'll just play that Boost Shake. Probably should have used the Quick Ball here. It should be fine. I don't think we're at too much of a risk. They do get that Regieleki VMAX down. Again, not going to be doing too much if they are unable to boss's orders. If they can boss's orders here, they can one-shot a Koffing, but them one-shotting a Koffing is not the end of the world for us. They are just going to Paralyzing Bolt, do 50 damage, shutting off access to our item cards. I could Shopping Center here. There's no real reason to. I could Bird Keeper here, but again, I just don't think it's worth it. We'll get the Severe Poison down, do 40 damage on that first turn, and you know they are going to 3-shot us, but they're taking 40 damage in between turns every single turn, unless they're able to find a way to switch out. I don't know if the Weezing shuts off Forest Seal Stone. They do just Super Zap Cannon. They are just going to take the KO here. A bit of an aggressive play from our opponent, discarding 2 of those Lightning Energy. Gonna go ahead and promote a Koffing here. See what we can get. I'm gonna play the Shopping Center. I'm going to Quick Ball the Switch. Let's grab that Radiant Sneasler here. And then I will attach the Dark Energy of just Marnie. We don't really need too much here. We did find the Crobat. That's always nice. We could just Boost Shake here. We definitely want to attach some stuff, play some stuff down. Let's go ahead and Crobat for a few cards. Nothing too crazy. So we will Ultra Ball. Grab that Crobat VMAX maybe. Our hand is looking kind of dead though, so let's actually just hold a Crobat V for the next turn, and then we will play the Boost Shake, get Weezing into play, and our opponent's going to take 60 damage in between turns, going up to 140. They're probably not going to be able to Super Zap Cannon us again, which is very nice. They may be able to if they go for a Melanie and an attachment. Again, not locking our items is a dangerous choice for them to make, because we'll be able to just reestablish our board. We could Dark Patch to that bench Crobat V, start attacking with the Crobat VMAX. Let's see if they even have an energy card in their hand. That Super Zap Cannon was a very aggressive play there. Looks like they are going to Serena, but they're not going to bring up the Crobat V. Just going to get that Speed Lightning Energy. They are going to be able to use the Paralyzing Bolt should they choose to. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Actually, that situation is better for us than the alternative, because now, unless they find another switch card, they are going to be knocked out coming back into our turn, which is ideal. So they are probably going to just retreat back into the Vikavolt. Yep, use that Paralyzing Bolt, do the 50 damage, and passing it back over to us. So what are we going to do? Let's go ahead. We get the Crobat down. I'm going to attach the Hiding Dark, and then I will just bench another Crobat V here. We can't play too much of this. I could Bird Keeper into the Crobat, but I don't think it's necessary. We'll just hit him with the Severe Poison, taking 60 damage in between turns, and they will be knocked out coming back into our turn if they're unable to find a switch card here. If they do find a switch card, We will trade 2 prizes for 2. They'll have taken 2 knockouts on Weezing. And we will have the 1 knockout on the Vikavolt. Unfortunately, I did discard that Zigzagoon, so if they do find Switch here and attack with this Vikavolt, we'll have to find a Gust card in order to knock this guy out. See what they can do here, though. They do find the Speed Lightning Energy. They find a Trekking Shoes. I'm sure they have more Switch card in their deck. They've only played 1 so far. So I'm certain that they have a Switch cart, a regular Switch, something in there they're going to be able to use here to get out of the active position. They have quite a small deck here. Out of Trekking Shoes, there's the Switch. So they are going to bring up this Vikavolt. Totally fine. There's the Choice Belt. I don't care about that. That's for sure. So let's go ahead. We are going to Bird Keeper into our Crobat VMAX. And then we are going to use that Stealth Poison. Get the poison on there. Going to promote a fresh Weezing. We do have the Hiding Dark Energy in our hand for next turn. To retreat back into the Crobat. They're going to take 30. So yeah, that will be enough for the knockout should we want to do things that way. Our opponent does only have 11 cards in deck. They do get another Switch. So they're going to be at 100 HP. We'll do 70. Yeah, this is fine. They could once again go for that Super Zap Cannon here. No reason not to, other than the fact that it'll give me access to those item cards again. And we have a plethora of them. So no complaints from me if that's what ends up happening. We don't have any basic Dark Energy in the discard pile. Could make things a little awkward for us. But we'll see what they go for. They did attach the energy active. I feel like that implies that they're going to go for the Super Zap Cannon here. They do. Super Zap Cannon, going to take the KO here. We are down to 1 Koffing in deck. I do have the Quick Ball, can go look for it though. So let's promote the Crobat. I am going to go ahead and Quick Ball away the Switch. Just going to try and get rid of some of the item cards in my hand. It looks like that Koffing is prized. Not a huge deal here. I could Marnie. No real reason to. I could Pierce. Definitely want to attach the Hiding Dark here so that I can use that Max Cutter attack. And let's Marnie them out of this hand. They have quite a large hand here. We don't really want to deal with it, so we are just going to go ahead and I think use that Stealth Poison, switch back into the Weezing, shut off those abilities, force our opponent to take a single prize knockout here, and hopefully we'll draw, coughing off the prizes, get a Boss's Orders, and a Marnie. That's fine. They are going to be able to take this knockout here with the Paralyzing Bolt should they choose to do so. But we're looking to be in a pretty all-right position ourselves. They do play the Melanie, get a Water Energy onto a fresh Vikavolt, attach a Speed Lightning Energy onto the fresh Vikavolt. They only have 5 cards left in their deck. No Water Energy in the discard anymore though, so that's alright. They do go for the Paralyzing Bolt. They take the KO here. Gonna go ahead and promote the Crobat VMAX. Let's see, what do we want to do here? Probably Marnie. I wouldn't mind using a Boss's Orders here either. Setting up some KOs in future turns. Could just take the KO on this. I don't think that's correct though. I think what we're gonna do here is just use that Stealth Poison, go into the Radiant Sneasler. They will have to Super Zap Cannon here if they want to take that knockout, and both of these Pokemon are susceptible to being KO'd by the Crobat VMAX. They are down 3 Switch, so unless they play a 4th one, we'll have to manually retreat here. They do attach that Water Energy. It's looking like they are going to go for that manually retreat option. A bit of a scary choice for them to make here, but we'll see if it pays off for them. They can't Super Zap Cannon with this one. They are missing a Lightning Energy. They do just go for that paralyzing bolt. That puts us in a fantastic position here. I'm just going to go ahead and retreat into the Crobat VMAX. I can use that max cutter attack, take the KO here, and the next turn I will be able to take the KO on that Vikavolt. Their Super Zap Cannon right now is doing 280 damage. They are 20 damage short, so if they have a Zigzagoon and a Scoop Up Net, they could finish the game here. But if not, we do have game in hand, unless they have Marnie. If they have Marnie, if they have Roxanne, it could get us out of this boss's orders, but as long as they don't, we're looking to be in quite a good position. They do have their Forest Stone tablet here, or Forest Seal Stone. They could use that Star Alchemy, but they're not going to be able to set up an attack here unless they're playing a Twin Energy, but even if they were, they did attach this Lightning Energy this turn. Melanie's not going to be enough. They also have 4 Melanie in their discard already. So let's see what they go for here. Doesn't look like they have too many options left. It's a very interesting matchup. Item lock versus ability lock. It seems like the ability lock is favored enough. They are just going to pass. I can boss's orders that Vikavolt, use the max cutter attack, and finish off the game, taking down another deck with that Crobat Weezing. Looking like an absolute force in this meta. Crobat is great into Mew. The Weezing is great into both the Regivika, the Regibox deck, the new Lugia deck. Ability lock is looking to be very, very strong in this format. So let's go hop over to an outro and talk things out. So as you can see there, Weezing is a very, very strong card in the current meta. Now that some of those Arceus decks, some of those Palkia decks have been pushed to the wayside a little bit, you're left with a lot of decks that are very reliant on their abilities. The Comfey engine, the Regi deck, the Regieleki Vikavolt even was unable to keep up with our poison damage output without those Regieleki VMAX abilities. I think that this Weezing Crobat deck is incredibly underrated in the current format and will certainly be making waves soon. I want to thank all of you for coming out today, and we will see you on the next one.
The Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7, instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at ptcgostore.com.
PokeXword, the best place to get your fill of Pokemon-inspired puzzles. New puzzles are posted every day, and they recently launched a new Guess That Pokemon puzzle, which is a ton of fun to play. Go check them out at PokeXword.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter for your chance to win a ton of PTCGO codes every month.
Check out the Late Night Series Season 6, brought to you by myself, Zach Lesage, and the Shuffle Squad. We're going to be running a bunch of sick events for the Pokemon community, and they start on August 30th. So one thing you might be noticing here is that there's an EU time and an NA time. We have one at 12 p.m. Eastern, which works out to about 5 p.m. in London. And then we have one at 7 p.m. Eastern, which should help out a lot of players on the West Coast play in this event. That being said, we still have a lot of cool things going on. Expect similar prizing that we've had for other Late Night Series events. Expect better staffing, expect better tournament experiences, and of course we do have a stream going up for this season as well, and I will be streaming the event on Twitch. That being said, we have the whole season up on the Play Limitless website. Late Night 51 all the way through 70 runs until we hit the Invitational on November 5th. So check that out, sign up today, and support Zacklessage events, and the Shuffle Squad. See you there.